This is ESPN ESPORTS. I'm Ardo Cal. Let's talk about the big Fortnite event, the latest event that has happened within the game. It happened on Monday afternoon, lasted for about 10 to 15 minutes, as is common for all events like this. This one surrounded the agency, and it had big implications for the Storm. So here are my 3 takeaways from the latest Fortnite event. Number 1. Huge move, very smart, limiting the amount of users that could watch the event in the game. Now, in the past, it was first come, first serve, and it didn't seem like there was a limit in the game on how many users could log in. So we saw record numbers with Travis Scott, astronomical. It broke records. How many tens of millions of people were watching at the same time? It was like 12 or 13 million. It was definitely a high number of people, and it was setting records. But also, there was a lot of crashing. There was a lot of server drops and users getting booted out of the game due to issues and unable to get back in. So the limiting of users for this event was actually twofold, and a very smart one at that. Number 1, let's limit the amount of technical issues that we will have by limiting the user base that is allowed to be in the game to watch this event. But also, as a result of limiting, and it was really fast too. I think it was about half an hour before the event started, around 1:30 p.m. Eastern, where it was full. You couldn't get in anymore. So that drove traffic to streamers and platforms like YouTube and Twitch. And that was very smart, especially right now, because we already know the records that Fortnite has set in the game. That proof of concept already exists. But now they are reasserting the fact that Fortnite draws gangbusters numbers, particularly for events like these, on platforms like YouTube and Twitch. Slasher reported in a tweet, 6.1 million plus people watched on YouTube and 2.3 million plus on Twitch. Incredible numbers. Ninja on Mixer said he had over 50,000 concurrents, which is very good for him at this point in Mixer, which was also a huge audience for him, and everyone was involved. All the top streamers were streaming this. You name it, they were watching this Fortnite event and reacting to it live on their streams, and content will be everywhere. So that was a win for Fortnite and Epic Games, especially after the PS5 reveal, because that drew incredible viewership and really set records across YouTube and Twitch as well. So for Fortnite to do this, for Epic Games to do this right now, sends a statement and says, hey, we are still the big kids on the block here. We are still the ones that drive a lot of viewership regularly. So smart move there. Number 2, changing the storm mechanics. So if you watch the event, basically what happened is these rods came up from the sea and the agency blew up, and it looked like these rods were all coming together with big laser beams and orbs in the sky, and it was pushing the storm back, and it was basically changing the complexion of the game. And then you saw like sort of a matrix. I took the blue pill or the red pill in the matrix, and you take one pill, and then all of a sudden you're detached from the matrix and you see what the real world looks like. Suddenly you're in the office and you see it in a first-person view, not a third-person view, and you see the default skin who's in a suit and he's on a phone, and he looks at you and he's like, you can see me? What's going on here? What on earth? You shouldn't be able to see me. And then it flashes back and forth between the office. And it's a very mundane office too, by the way. It's like you see a desk and there's a computer and there's a phone, like what you would expect an office to look like. So there's definitely a storyline that is emerging there, but in particular, what you were left with was once you get back onto the battle bus as the event ended, you drop into the agency, or what remains of the agency, because of, the storyline Midas wanting to eliminate the storm or alter the storm forever. And now you see that the storm area that you would normally be able to run in and out of is now water. So it's all elevated water. And I wonder, all signs point to that being the next mechanic in Chapter 2, Season 3 of Fortnite, which is going to launch on Wednesday. So that's an interesting mechanic or something to alter and change in Fortnite. And what you got to give Epic Games credit for is just trying to change and make new things. The events are one thing, but also the game mechanics, to try things and see what the feedback is like. So it was very well received, at least initially, being underwater and seeing, like, I think Ninja on his stream was yelling, I could see a shark, I could see a kraken. So people were enjoying it initially. I want to see people play it, grind it for a week or two, and see what the swim mechanic results will be. Maybe this will become the norm. Maybe this is going to be something that will be adopted if it's successful enough and if it's positively received for a long period of time, you can see this being something that will be changed in Fortnite as a regular mechanic. Even if it isn't water, maybe there's something there to be outside the storm. And that also fundamentally changes the way people play, especially as the storm circles get smaller in size, going outside and inside, and those decisions that are made in the management there, especially in the last circles where they're moving around, in those especially in competitive situations. That's going to be interesting to see how the top players, how the top competitors, the Benji Fishies, the Boogas, the Zexeros, etc., how are they going to deal with this new mechanic, and what will the casual audience think about it? So I give props to Epic Games for thinking about this, for making a change like this, and just waiting to see what the reaction is going to be from people. My third takeaway here is I want the next big collab. I liked this event. I always like Fortnite events. I think that they're very creative. Some are better than others, obviously. Some are more creative than others. But I want the next big collaboration. What I mean by that is I want like a Star Wars collaboration, a Travis Scott collaboration, an Avengers collaboration. Deadpool was fun too. But in terms of an event, like a Travis Scott's Astronomical, I want that next big announcement. I want to know who the next big celebrity is or musician is that is going to collaborate with the Fortnite space and give us a incredible, insane, something we've never seen before collaboration. And I actually wrote an article on ESPN.com/esports with the headline, Imagining the Future of Fortnite in-game events. I gave 10 examples of collaborations that I would love to see. One of them, I'll tell you right now, is Fortnite Fight Night. I would love to see WWE put a cinematic match in the Fortnite universe. I think that would be a lot of fun, and I think that there is a alignment of demographics that are watching at least certain WWE shows and those that play Fortnite. So I think that the tone of both products and the demographics line up. At least the Venn diagram is smaller or closer than we might think. So that might be a really fun collaboration. And you can definitely, there's a lot of gamers among WWE superstars. So it would be a very natural fit. So that's just one example, but I gave 10. And believe me, when I say the sky's the limit in terms of creativity in what can be done in the Fortnite universe, I truly mean it. I truly believe that Fortnite is the sandbox for all celebrities and brands to play in to great success, and Travis Scott is the perfect example of that. So that's my third takeaway is I want to know who's next. I want to know what the next giant event is going to be or collaboration is going to be. So that article is available at ESPN.com/esports. But tell me in the chat what you thought about the agency event and whether or not you're looking forward to Chapter 2, Season 3, which drops on Wednesday.